Welcome back. Well, it's a far cry from what we've always believed, but new research shows 1 in 6 Aussie men want sex only once a month or less, often because they're too tired or stressed. Tom?
How did I get thrown into this one? The average Australian couple has sex just once or twice a week, and that number only goes down the older we get.
So, how can you spice up your sex life? Well, joining us for more on this is Sexology Australia Director Elaine George and relationship psychologist John Aitken. Elaine, let's start with you. You're doing your PhD on the male sex drive. Now, there's this idea that men want sex all the time, and if they don't, they're just really not manly enough. Is that what you're... What are you discovering?
Well, exactly. The notion is that all men want sex 24/7, and this is the myth that's perpetuated in the media. You know, this male, stereotypical male macho image, the Aussie bloke. And it piqued my interest a few years back as we were discussing. And it's not a case of all men want sex 24/7. So what the research has shown, the initial part of the research, is that just less than half want sex at 24/7 every day. Just nearly a quarter want it maybe 2 to 3 times a week, and then it tapers off quite significantly, with about 15% of men wanting it once a month or less, which equates to 1 in 6 to 7 couples.
And do you feel in your research that those figures of the 40-odd% that are saying that they want it, you know, 24/7, that they're actually, there's a bit of bravado in there? Do you actually think that that figure might be less if there was less bravado?
That's a really good question, and it was they were asked what was their decline, what was their interest or desire for sex over the past 6 months. So yes, that figure might be slightly inflated in terms of every day, and you know that some of that cohort may well be in the 25% that was like maybe 2 to 3 times a week.
John, in your practice, are you finding men coming in to seek help for lack of desire?
I see both men and women coming in with that problem. Generally, a problem's been around for about 6 years before someone seeks treatment, so they've been struggling with it, trying to sort it out. But certainly men do complain of having low sex drive, and there can be loads of factors that come into it that can contribute to it. But one of the key problems is that it creates this distance between the couple. They struggle to connect, and often the woman feels quite rejected as a result of it.
Is it successful when they come and see you? Do you sort these people out?
I try to be as successful as I can with them, Tom.
No, but do you say, you guys are great, you know, like, let's work through these problems and you'll be back on track?
Yeah, well, generally what you've got to do is you've got to break it down, dissect the problems.
Yep.
When did they begin? What are the factors that are leading to it? Because it might be financial stress, it might be a medical problem, which can be a major influence on sexual desire. It could be couple problems, you know, not enough time together, put-downs, the wild and problem in-law that you've got. There can be all sorts of issues that go on. So you've got to dissect the problem, find out what it is, and then start getting them to work at the same thing and move them forward together as a team.
We mentioned before, Elaine, about stress and fatigue, and that can be such a contributing factor, quite aside from the headache. What are you finding in terms of the different reasons that men and women give? Are they quite different?
Well, this is what was really interesting, because like women, men are susceptible to a wide range of factors that can contribute to a decline in sexual desire. Usually it's always either biological, psychological or contextual, or a bit of both. Now, once you rule out the biological, the hormonal issues, whether it's estrogen, progesterone or testosterone, you know, again, there's this myth that testosterone is directly related to libido in men, but some men can be normal testosterone levels and still have low desire. But the psychological issues, the stress and the fatigue, the emotional exhaustion, that's huge. And as John's saying, you know, this is where you get relationship discord, other issues that I think are actually precipitated by stress and fatigue.
What about, Elaine, if you've got high testosterone levels? Does that mean you're going to have a higher desire for sex?
You could have a higher. It depends on, you know, what age you're at and all the rest of it. But, you know, again, you know, really high testosterone levels isn't necessarily going to put the libido through the radar, is it?
No, testosterone can ebb and flow, but certainly for a guy, if you've got more testosterone, it certainly helps.
Yeah.
And I guess the key here is if you're having problems, then seek some professional help, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd also say get a medical checkup because a lot of the problems can be physical.
And also, Elaine, you're just very quickly, you're looking for some men to take part in the qualitative study. You've done the quantitative and now you're after qualitative.
Exactly, and it's really important that we need to ascertain what does desire mean to men, how do they interpret, how do they define it, and so if they want to participate, it would be fantastic.
Okay, if you want to get in contact with Elaine, you can send us an email. Thank you both for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
John.
Thanks,
Always
guys.
good to talk to you, mate. All right, still to come, one last visit from our favourite psychic, Sally Morgan. What she sees for the new royal family. Plus, barbecuing, where the real gender war is.
Why there's such a divide when it comes to the grill. We'll be looking at that a little bit later. But next...